Atreyu, like the artist, so I did just over. Today I'm going to be talking about an amazing shoe that's only £9. So I picked up a shoe that I've been wanting to test for a while now. The shoe isn't necessarily a typical shoe that you would pick up, but I consume a lot of information and I love to run. I love the whole history behind it, and I've always been obsessed with shoes, and I was particularly obsessed in the last 2-3 weeks with looking at the runners from the 50s, the 60s, and looking at how they were able to to run without the footwear that we have now. Now, thinking about these shoes, the Adidas Adizero Pro Evo 1 that's £400, the Alphafly 3 that's going to be touching £300, and it got me thinking, how did people used to run and compete without these shoes? And the sort of closest thing that I could think about and to get to replicate that, because I wanted to see how it would feel and if I could go for a run and just have that experience in that shoe. So what I got was this Plimsoll. So this is there's not much to talk about in regards to the shoe. It's a Plimsoll, £9. It's a Slazenger Plimsoll that you would pick up to use to walk around on your holiday. But basically this is what people used to wear pretty much before EVA was a thing, before the invention of like the modern shoe. So what I wanted to do was take it out for a run and find out how it felt, and see if I could run a 5k in it in sub 20 minutes. Now, the reason for that is because for me personally, I normally use a 5k as an indication of kind of where I'm at, and I can sort of tell by the effort involved, my heart rate and that kind of stuff as to sort of where I'm at with a 5k. And when I first decided to run, the 5k for me was the thing to hit. And I spent so long trying to get under the 20-minute mark for the 5k. That's always my kind of, I kind of adore that as a speed test. So whenever I test shoes, I always go, right, am I able to take the shoe under a 5k, because then it gives me a faster effort as well, and I just love the 5k. I took this out on a run, and so what is immediately apparent about these shoes is that lockdown is probably going to be an issue, and looking like a tit, but that's neither here nor there. I think already just hazarding a guess at the top of the foot is going to hurt. I think there'll be some slippage as well in these shoes. They do feel surprisingly quite light, actually. So there's nothing I can really say about the shoes because there is no tongue.
Oh, no, is there a tongue? No, there's no tongue on these plimsolls. It is just straight up material and lockdown, I think. So what I am going to do though is I'm going to plaster my feet up, because my feet, if there's something that will rub, then it's going to rub my heels. So I'm going to, on the basis that these will probably rub because there is no counter in the heel to help at all, I am going to put some plasters on my feet, and then I'm going to take them out on a 5k and see what they can do. And as it is, it's literally a plimsoll. The upper is, there isn't anything there on the upper. It is basically just material. It's like a, I don't even know how to describe the upper really. It's basically cloth. There isn't anything there. So one of my concerns taking this out is the heel counter, because if something's going to rub, it's going to rub my feet. The tongue, there is a tongue in there. It's a very small tongue, and it's not stitched in. It's stitched into the top of the material, and you've got the laces, which are basically really long standard laces. The midsole now is a some rubber outsole. It looks like it's about 8mm or 6mm, I guess, completely flat, and the outsole is basically made from the same stuff, and it's like a pattern of basically triangle hexagons. And another concern of mine was the grip. So when I took this out, it was wet. There's leaves out there. A part of the course that I use is quite slick. So my concern was basically, would I slip? So when I took it out, if I was going to slip in the first half a mile, I would just stop. Because I took the plimsoll out, and the aim was to do a faster session in it and really hit it quite hard. And initially it did fit really well. I went a size down, so I went to a size it, and the reasoning for that was because I wanted my whole foot to be I wanted as close a fit as I could, because I thought that would help with the grip and the strike of the foot, because I kind of, sometimes you can get away with it if you've got a carbon plate there, but in these it's completely flat. So I wanted the forefoot strike to be a proper midfoot to forefoot strike. So one of the things that I found straight away was the ground feel. Is that you feel the ground. You feel every inch of that ground, and I actually don't mind the feeling of that because I have a race flat shoe. I have a Brooks Hyperion, which is not the Hyperion with the thick stack, it's the really thin one, and I quite enjoyed that, and it made me foot strike, because I had to adjust the foot strike to get a more comfortable strike while kind of like hitting the ground, and then I got the ground feel. And actually when I got the ground feel in the shoe, it actually felt pretty good. The grip was okay. I didn't really slip. There were one or two parts where I thought, oh, I might slip, but actually I didn't slip at all. Even in parts where some more expensive shoes have slipped, this didn't really slip. I did have to work harder in the shoe because there isn't anything there to assist you, and I had a really good experience in the shoe. I
actually did in the shoe a 1910, and it was definitely hard work. It was harder work. It was more of a tempo effort. Could I have gone quicker in the shoe? Maybe on a day where it wasn't as wet, could I have maybe put a little bit more in it? And if I was fitter, could I maybe go quicker? Possibly. But the fact I was able to do a 1910 in a plimsoll, I was just amazed. But more than anything else, it just kind of made me think about, and appreciate the technologies that we have today to help us run, and it makes me appreciate that more. But it also makes me appreciate, what people went through for us to get to this point, because it wasn't a fashionable sport, and they used to use shoes similar to this to run like a marathon. And I have to say, after I finished, I did a 5k, and then I did another maybe 4k to cool down. And I have to say, the next day my calves didn't hurt, but I'd obviously worked some bones and some things in my ankle and foot and the leg that I simply don't when I wear the sort of high stack shoe. So I used to train in a race flat shoe, and I'd almost forgotten how imperative and how important that is to be able to work parts of your leg, your foot, that you wouldn't normally work, that you simply cannot work in a high stack shoe, because it just doesn't. The foams are so good now that you almost don't need to think about it. So in terms of a shoe, this is probably one of the best shoes that's made me think this year of some of the things I actually need to do to retrain. And I probably won't use this, but I'll definitely use the race flat shoe more, because it shows me that I definitely need to train different parts. And as an experience, I've not experienced anything similar to this ever. So I actually really enjoyed the shoe. Do I recommend it to other people? I don't know, because it's definitely I think that if you do want to test it out, then I would say if you're used to higher stack shoes, just take it easy, because it's such a different way to run. But I definitely recommend maybe a race flat style shoe, just to work those bones and the ankle and the leg that you wouldn't work, because you need to strengthen those as well. So as a shoe, as an experiment, it's a really interesting one. I wonder now, thinking about it, if I could maybe take it up maybe to a 10k, a half marathon. I don't think my legs would be able to sort of handle that, because it is quite a really harsh ride. So yeah, the plimsoll, who would have thought at £9 that you'd be able to do a sub 20 minute 5k in a £9 plimsoll. And on that note, don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe. Let me know if you've tried it. If you want to try it, let me know your experiences in it and what you think about it. And yeah, see you on the next one.